Hello, my name is Erik, and welcome to Phi Mathematics once again, and we're continuing our discussion on executive functions, and this is part 2 of the environment. So the next step after you've defined your intent of your environment, and you've written it down, I highly recommend you do this, the next step is we go to the actual furniture. And the main elements of the furniture are going to be indicative of the intent of the environment. So once again, I'm focusing on the academic side, not if you have a dual environment where the bedroom side, I'll let you guys work that out on your own, but it should follow the same kind of thought process. Make sure your bedroom is inducive of the intent. On the academic side, we're talking about the work area. So there's a few necessary furnitures that are necessary for it to be defined as a work area. Obviously, the first one is a desk, and we're going to need a chair, and we're going to need a lamp. I'm going to go each one in order. But before we get to the desk, let me just reiterate on your work environment area. It should be quiet most of the time, so you don't want to be in a spot where there's a high traffic area. You know, maybe people or family are coming in and out of the house all the time, or if there's a lot of noise. I mean, these things seem obvious, but I've seen students many times that for whatever reasons, they ended up in situations like this in the house or wherever they work, and there's constant distractions. Remember, we're engineering the environment for student success. So, no distractions, a quiet area to start. Hopefully this will be in your bedroom because we want it to be consistent, or wherever it's going to be, this is going to be your office, your work area. Again, if it's over multiple households, it should be the same spot. Apply the same rules that you do in both households that you're doing to one. So starting with the desk. The desk should be big enough to be able to write on. You know, imagine the desk with nothing on it. Big enough to write on, have an open book, and also a computer for today's age. Also, we need to have a lamp on there. Some kind of lighting device that illuminates that area. It's also like a spotlight. It's where we focus our attention on the immediate. You can also, there'll probably be an overhead fixture as well too, but you want to have a light that's directly on your area of work so you can read books easily, you can see things much easier, and when it gets night at time, and when it gets in the evening, you can actually see things clearly. So, once again, some students have had small desks that everything is crammed, and that's not conducive to work. So you want to be able to have it big enough, have a book open, a lamp on there, and even a computer, and you can write. Most desks should suffice this. The second area is going to be storage. Some desks may have drawers on the side, and I'd recommend that all those drawers for storage are where you're going to put your supplies, or what I call in the later categories of executive functions, tools of the trade or student supplies. You want to be able to get supplies quickly and easily as you need them when they pop up while you're working. You don't want to have to run across to the house. You don't want to have to go somewhere else. You want them easily and readily available quickly. So if you have drawers, as most desks do, you want to be able to have pens, papers, and all the tools of the trade, which I will go into in later episodes, easily accessible. So if there's other things in your desk that aren't necessarily on that, remember the intent. The intent is work. So that takes precedent and a priority over everything else. Now, you may find it troubling to where you're going to store all this stuff, but that's what we're doing when we're environmentally engineering your room or your area for student success. The last part, or the next part, is the chair. Seems simple enough, but a chair, you don't want to have a chair that's super comfy that you're going to get tired, because we're trying to get work done. You also want to have one that's comfortable enough that you can work in for, certain periods of time without, getting cringing or back problems or knee problems or whatever it is, Probably most younger students won't have these issues, but it's still something to keep in mind. You want something that is comfortable enough to work in for periods of time without causing you to get tired. So, desk, a lamp, some kind of desk lamp, and a chair. And the last category is something that sometimes people don't realize, but this actually will come into our systems and routines, are surge protectors. You want to have a surge protector near your desk, and hopefully there's an outlet nearby as well too. This is where you're going to plug in all your cords and your power cords for your laptop, your probably your lamp, and as well as your computers. Because what we want to do is also have a charging station, so as we get to other categories of executive functions, this makes it easier in the future for us to charge things overnight without having to find cords and all this stuff. The whole idea with executive functions is to make life easier so you can focus more on getting the work done and doing it at a high quality than getting caught up in all the logistical stuff. So setting up things correctly from the beginning is always the best way to do it. And this comes in with setting up the environment and literally from the ground up. So just to reiterate and recap one last time, when defining the environment, make sure A, your desk is big enough to have a book open, write on there, have a desk lamp, and also a computer open. Once again, most desks should suffice this. If you have drawers on the side, those should be specified for supplies and or overflow work. If you don't have a desk with drawers in it, you should have some area nearby, either some kind of drawer or a box or something that can be organized, not just throwing stuff in, nearby that you can get things easily. Have a chair that is not too comfortable but also not too stiff that you can actually get work done. And lastly, you want to have at least 1 or 2 surge protectors so you can charge things easily. You can leave the cords plugged in, so when it's time to come, you can just charge everything up easily and readily. Thank you once again for watching Phi Mathematics on our executive functions exploration, so to speak. And I hope to see you again very soon. And remember, enjoy the process.